enabled. Yes Bank Transformation Series. Actualize Innovation. Strategic Partner, Mint. TV Partner, CNBC TV 18.
Hello and welcome to the grand finale of the third edition of the Yes Bank Transformation Series in association with CNBC TV 18. The first day of the series saw interesting sessions from an array of accomplished entrepreneurs advising students on disruptive innovations.
This is the most significant series, the most significant event we've had so far, with almost 8,500 students from India as well as some foreign countries who have participated. A number of the top schools sent in very, very vigorous, energetic teams. Very good teams. I must say the quality of presentations was marvelous, So you could sense that there is a certain underlying sentiment in our country, a sentiment which we have to value as a sentiment which will translate, in my judgment, into multiple new entrepreneurs coming into Indian industry. Naturally, they will need to be mentored. They will need to be navigated in the initial stages, which means the development of the venture capital market. Banks like ours, new age banks, have the wherewithal today.
The series continues as more students pitch their ideas in the grand finale.
Our proposition, Application Suvidha, will simplify and improve the purchasing habit of customers, which include majority in 18 to 35 years of age, like student, entrepreneurs and employees. And our application will provide one-stop solution. Like you can get all major services like food chain, entertainment and travel in our service, in our application, and it will be fast and easy transaction. And we have focused on the urban population and rural population as well, because the fortune lies at the bottom of the pyramid and we have targeted that bottom of the pyramid. And in SME financing, we have seen that only 30% of the debt demand is met by Indian banks. Rest 70% is our target, and we can met by our SME financing landscape. Thank you. That's it.
It's not clear to me how your acquisition strategy, marketing and other strategy that you have put out actually ties up with the kind of projections or numbers you're working on. Have you validated this number, for example, with what like you're aware of from, let's say, other e-commerce sites spend before they reach a certain, you've shown year 3, year 4, etc.
Yes.
Have you validated these numbers with what normally you hear is an industry spend?
Ma'am, actually what we have done, we have first calculated like what all costs we are going to incur. And based on that, if we are getting a conversion, if that much minimum 1% conversion we are getting, and we are getting a benefit, we haven't compared with the other competitors, but what we have done, the analysis that we are getting a benefit. We are not aware of what all competitors' marketing spend are, but we are getting benefits. Like based on the number of conversion, net interest margin we assume to be minimum 2.27%.
You gave us some figures on MSME numbers. Used it to argue that NPAs are not as high as one tends to think. But are those numbers comparable? Meaning, weren't they earlier SSI and aren't they now MSME? So you're comparing apples with oranges.
No sir, I got the MSME data, and from that I saw that the SME's NPA to gross NPA, it was around 18% in 2008, which we have brought down to around 12%. And talking about the new private sector bank, which is PBI is segmented in new private sector bank, they are doing it a 4.8%. SME's NPA to gross NPA, so they are at.
Okay, so caught in a frenzy where digital payments are trying to revolutionize the whole model of payments and other solutions, we try to propose a simple but slightly incremental model in terms of payments where money can be directly transferred from an M-wallet to a payment gateway, and we also plan to have strategic alliances with payment gateways in the future. In terms of financing, what we hope is we hope to provide a tablet to each and every SME, and we also hope to capture positive externalities and to provide a better credit rating or a health score so that can improve in NPAs and help us providing better loans.
You talked about cross-cluster risk hedging. Yes. Can you elaborate a bit? What are the elements of that and how does it?
Okay, so the idea is, say we get a lot of information through the apps we provide through the tablet which we plan to provide. Once we get information, we have an idea of so many industries. We give them a tablet. So we ask them to put in financial reports, the vendors whom they're talking to, the banks whom they're talking to, what are their daily purchases, day-to-day activities, if any information, etc. So once we have that information with us, so then we'll have a map in a sense that, say, in a particular territory, say we have mapped it as rest of India, northeastern states or low income states, say a particular industry, say in the textile industry in low income state in particular part of India, and say a high performing industry in, say, Delhi or Maharashtra. If they are in a similar industry and if they can somewhat leverage relationships, we put them in the same cluster.
You have reduced payment gateway charges from 1.7% to 1%. What assumption did you take? If it was so easy, others would have done it earlier.
Sir, what basically we assumed it like earlier, that payment gateways doesn't have any incentive. Since the bank was not involved in the payment gateways, these are two separate entities till now. So we found that payment gateways were not getting any added advantages by reducing these transactions, the transaction cost.
We want India to become an inclusive digital economy. To achieve this goal, we divided our our journey into several phases. Currently, India has achieved the basic mobile phone connectivity among the masses and is rapidly moving towards digital remote payments. We propose to PBOI to begin with providing escrow accounts and invoice lending facilities to SMEs listed on online marketplaces such as Amazon and Flipkart. Then we present an opportunity to in peer-to-peer lending, which has become a global phenomenon. We then talk about extending collaboration to payment banks and open digital wallets by providing financial services and other expertise. Finally, the adoption of digital financial services, when it picks up, PBOI can enable previously unbanked SMEs to sell online by providing escrow accounts and lending based on their digital wallets.
Who would be the regulator in your case?
Sir, I believe SEBI. I do not have knowledge of that, sir.
I'm struggling to translate the ideas that you have put here into a business case for PBOI.
At this point of time, setting up of escrow accounts and doing the invoice lending can be implemented right away. This is a perfectly feasible business solution because there are so many SMEs out there who struggle to get micro loans to get their supplies and sell it online. But since they are financially included, and they have current accounts and savings accounts, we do have their transaction history, we do how much invoice they make per month in Amazon or in Jungli or in Flipkart. So on the basis of that, if PBOI can collaborate with these online marketplaces and set up escrow accounts and invoice lending facilities for these people, then we believe that it is a very lucrative business proposition.
You're watching part 2 of the Yes Bank Transformation Series in association with CNBC TV 18. It's time for a short break. Join us again on the other side.
Yes Bank Transformation Series. Actualize Innovation. Strategic Partner, Mint. TV Partner, CNBC TV 18. Yes Bank Transformation Series. Actualize Innovation. Strategic Partner, Mint. TV Partner, CNBC TV 18.
Welcome back. You're watching the third edition of the Yes Bank Transformation Series in association with CNBC TV 18.
So, all of you might be thinking, why should a bank spend so much on such an intangible thing as financial literacy? But in a country like India, where 60% of the population remains statistically unbanked, where people are not aware of the basic banking facilities available to them, in a country like India, where the incumbent government is planning financial inclusion on such a huge scale, we at PBOI believe that innovation in financial literacy should come before innovation in any financial product. Financial literacy will provide economic empowerment and social development to the unbanked. The wheel, we all know, is a very basic, very simple thing. But the invention of the wheel is what set things into motion. We at PBOI want to start from the very basic things. We intend to financially literate the people of the country, which will itself lead to further financial innovation. Thank you.
Not many banks globally are using social media in a much more profitable manner, which actually is yet to happen, particularly in the field of investments and other such activities through process of gamification. Okay. You did not have a look at that, or you did have an occasion to see what other banks are doing, because this can be a great innovation in India in times to come.
Yes, sir, we have actually studied the other applications as well. But in terms of implementation and scalability, we have to start with some step. So that's why we thought of going with a money manager application. Yes, sir. So,
and gamification is being implemented globally, but in India it is not still at such a large scale. So we can really leverage this factor and make it popular there.
Is your MSME, the person you are lending to, the person you are going to use this app for, is he or she an individual or is he or she an enterprise? The reason I am asking you this, you no doubt know that 95% of MSMEs are individuals. They are not registered as enterprises.
we are planning to achieve through this is financial literacy. Even if the person is not registered, he at least gets to know about the different schemes that are provided, the different products that the bank is providing to him. So ultimately, if he has access to easy credit, he can then further expand upon the idea and eventually register himself as an enterprise probably.
So with the rapid advancement in technology, regulation and the improving economy, it's a turning point for the banking industry. And though we think SMEs, SME financing and big data analytics could be a game changer, any bank which misses these opportunities might even perish. So in big data, we're talking about something that can be disruptive and can be an enabler of change. So banks should ideally improve their operational efficiencies using big data as well as give innovative financial products. So we are proposing a personalized bundling of products and an omni-channel approach to lure the modern day consumer. Also, historically, we've seen that banks have been shying away from SME financing. But I think if we take a solution-oriented approach instead of a product-oriented approach, and we maintain a focused strategy across a few sectors, SMEs can be a profitable business. Lastly, given the acceleration in financial inclusion, private banks are really playing an important role in extending the scope of institutional finance. So greater variety of products have to be followed, given at low cost while also managing the risk. So, thank you.
When you talk about quality, you talked about the balanced scorecard system.
Yeah.
Scorecard system for funding the SMEs. Yeah. But then for risk mitigation, have you thought of some benchmark as to what extent you can use this scorecard? Because SMEs have a different sensitivities to finance. Yeah. So how far this scorecard can go for finance? Any amount?
One thing which came out of the secondary research was, one thing which was felt was, if in case of debt financing, there's only annual monitoring as to how the SME is doing. So there was a need for a proactive monitoring is crucial as to identifying if a SME is doing well or not. But
it is an enabler.
Yes, but
not the final decision maker.
And coming back to the question, we have not done any numerical analysis as to what is the quality cutoff level wherein we maybe stop the supply to SMEs.
For an initiation, it may be actually taken up slowly from a lower stage to a higher stage.
True.
But it can be an enabler for any account. That's number one.
What is the risk mitigation that you are thinking about for the quality of loans that you are going to be disbursing here? Because there's a growth on one hand. Mm-hmm. And what is it in that model that you are differentiating from a quality perspective?
Like we said, it's not about just providing a financial product to any SME. It's about building capability in a particular sector. Suppose we take a company like General Motors. So it will have various tiers of suppliers. Suppose a tier 3 supplier is a SME and you want to finance that SME. So how do you actually gauge how it will do in the future? So you can directly have a look as to what are the projections for GM. So that's your end user market. So that will tell you what is the actual potential at the final consumer level. Based on that, you can back calculate and check how is the relations between GM and the tier 1 supplier, tier 1 and tier 2, tier 2 and tier 3. So basically it's about identifying the entire value chain and financing across it.
PBI should lead the payment innovation in the urban India landscape by creating an NFC-enabled mobile payment ecosystem. It needs to leverage technology to build innovative factoring products, tapping into the rapidly growing SME and MSME segments. And 3, PBI should conceptualize an advisory firm that makes PBI the de facto leader in knowledge banking. These steps will allow PBI to fend off competition in the payment space, improve market share in the financing space, and create a niche for itself.
I don't know whether I'm being unfair, but I don't detect or I don't get a sense of what the innovation is. Because all this stuff is already going on. You just seem to be suggesting do it better. Am I being unfair or is that...
NFC is something which we probably... thought it was innovative and which is currently not available with any bank. But as we are speaking, there are various banks which have started embarking on it. And once again, it's a case where probably we have done it, and we're probably slightly late in terms of presenting. But otherwise, if you look at the developments have started happening in February. The submission was in the end of Jan. So that way, that is one thing which we thought it was innovative. And in terms of factoring per se is definitely not innovative. But when you club it with the advisory service, and when you look at data analytics to create a factoring product, we thought it was slightly different, because had it been a run-of-the-mill product, then the industry would have already caught on to it. So currently the industry, none of the banks is serious about factoring, and customers are not aware of factoring as a service being available.
With that, it's time for a short break. On the other side, we reveal the winners of the third edition of the Yes Bank Transformation Series. Stay tuned.
Yes Bank Transformation Series. Actualize Innovation. Strategic Partner, Mint. TV Partner, CNBC TV 18. Yes Bank Transformation Series. Actualize Innovation. Strategic Partner, Mint. TV Partner, CNBC TV 18.
Welcome back to the Yes Bank Transformation Series in association with CNBC TV 18. Now, before we reveal the winners of the series, let's listen in to the closing notes from some industry stalwarts.
The Yes Bank Transformation Series is championing our ethos of innovation and creativity. It highlights our passion to nurture and promote the brightest young minds in the country. The series was conceptualized as the Yes Bank Transformation Series in 2010. Our driving thought behind launching this initiative that we had was to provide a platform for aspiring young leaders across the world to acquire innovative thinking, creative skills, and apply their knowledge to real business challenges. And this is exactly what we are trying to emulate in this exercise. As ourselves being one of the pioneers of digital banking in India, Yes Bank's success, I must say, over the last 10 years is a predominant result of what we have been doing as a new entrant in a very competitive landscape, and relying tremendously on our mission-critical pillars, which are both innovation and technology, respectively. Well, we believe we have been the most innovative bank, and not just what possibly you see in the social media space, but also in many forms of alternative channels that banking is using today. This series champions the same ethos of innovation, creativity, and highlights our passion, including the choice of the subjects that we have put in this series for evaluation is very much along the ethos that we would like to develop our bank around. Our success is also reflected in the faith that our investors in our bank also express, and we, as a measure, have been adjudged among the best performing stocks as well in the last decade by CNBC TV 18, and we got listed in 2005. I think we still are the best performing stock in the last 10 years. The reason I'm bringing stock into this is because it's something the market is also recognizing, and more so will become the anchor for future business growth.
After diligent hard work and toil, the second runner-up for the Yes Bank Transformation Series was Team Prodigies from IIM Lucknow.
Well, of course, one does aspire for a top position, but then it is a very happy feeling that our efforts have got recognized, and we have won a position in which we can pat ourselves on the back and believe that whatever was the scope for improvement, we will take that forward. But at the same time, we are happy about the fact that we have won the second position.
Putting their best foot forward, Team Finatics from IIFT Delhi stood second.
Well, our experience for the 2 days has been very good. The first day it has started with good, valuable knowledge sharing by many important players across different domains, which was very value-adding and enriching experience. Today also we had the opportunity of presenting to the esteemed jury as well as listening to the top 10 presentations, which added to our knowledge. We find it very enriching and good, in fact.
The team to have outdone the rest in the Yes Bank Transformation Series is Team Opportunity from NITI, Mumbai.
The thing is that we have really given good innovations which can be used practically for the business, for the banks. we would like to help out the banks if they really want to implement our innovations.
We would like to see one day in newspaper that one of our ideas gets implemented by any bank. That would be really a proud moment for us.
And the ideas that we have proposed have actually the impact which can change the way people transact. So even to the people, it is very helpful. So they're expecting those ideas will be implemented, and one day we will see people with happy faces.
It's a very interesting series because, what you're doing is you're getting a lot of very smart young people involved in solving the problems, albeit in the financial sector, but the problems of people, and most of them seem to have been working on how to get the bank to get into the banking sector, which is of course a very important problem because we need to solve this problem. So very interesting, very inspiring, very exciting to see young people apply their minds into problems that are important.
I learned quite a bit, and I'm quite excited at the fact that there are so many young people who are exhibiting traits not only of working in the prospective banking industry, but perhaps doing things on their own. Because I think the message really for India as a whole is that one should not again look for jobs. The message of entrepreneurship is that I should set up something on my own, and indeed I think that in the last 15 or 20 years with the unshackling that's happened of the economy, there is a greater urge on the part of young people to become entrepreneurs. So I hope at some point, right now of course after graduating they're bound to take up jobs in the financial sector, perhaps in banks, but eventually I hope they go on to do things for themselves.
With that, it's a wrap on the show. Through this series, we've seen some aspiring young entrepreneurs battle their way to the top at the Yes Bank Transformation Series, acquiring some valuable knowledge and advice from seasoned entrepreneurs along the way. On that note, from the entire team, many thanks for watching.
Yes Bank Transformation Series. Actualize Innovation. Strategic Partner, Mint. TV Partner, CNBC TV 18. Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable.